My boyfriend cheated on me. Why do men cheat? I broke up with my boyfriend back in February. He cheated on me on Valentine's Day. We were together for 10 months and I have endured a lot in that time. I was there for him when he lost his jobs and I would always encourage him to be a better person. I'd like to say I contributed to his change, but clearly he didn't change. Those past few weeks we were having issues because of things I found in his phone. I found recent texts with his ex on his birthday. That day I decorated his room and bought him a new monitor for him to play on and hopefully be the start of his YouTube channel. When he got home I surprised him, and later that day we were going out to eat together and have a great time. He had just gotten a haircut, so he goes to take a shower. He left his Apple Watch charging, and since I knew his password I checked it. I saw texts of him pleading and begging his ex back and texts with other girls from work, asking these other girls to hang out and smoke together. My heart was racing. I didn't even get to read all the texts when I just broke down and fell on the floor. He came out the shower and I confronted him. He was in denial about it at first and then started apologizing and telling me that he loved me and that those texts were fake. That he only texted his ex so that she would believe him and leave her current boyfriend from him. That she was spreading rumors of him, that he used to hit her and abuse her, and that he just wanted to get back at her this way. After an hour of listening to his BS, I said I have to leave and I walked out. His car was parking behind mine, so he left when I did. He was speeding and he calls me telling me that he's going to end his life because he doesn't know what to do with himself. I'm on the phone with him while all of this happens and I start texting his friends who have his location and tell them to go after him because I can't fall for any of this. He continuously calls me while I'm crying and driving home. I'm on the highway and it's raining and I get into a small fender bender. I'm a mess at this point, on the phone with him, exchanging insurances with the guy that hit me and texting his friends to make sure to let me know he's okay when they get to where he is. I get home and I'm distraught, crying, and mad at everyone. I make the mistake of not blocking him on socials or his phone number and I hear him out. Still knowing I deserve better and deserve someone who respects me, I decided to allow a second chance. Of course, things aren't the same this second time around. I don't trust him and I don't even know how to act around him. A few weeks pass by and we're almost back to how things are. I come over and we hang out, have sex and do couple things. For Valentine's Day we planned to do something the following day because that was our anniversary date. On Valentine's Day we go to the gym in the afternoon and then we study after. He goes to take pictures with his friend that night and then texts me that he's home and he's sleepy, that he's going to sleep. I said that's okay because I was coming over the following Wednesday to spend time with him all day before our date. This past week we have hung out almost every day and things started to look up. Friday afternoon I changed my profile picture to a picture of him and Saturday I look at my DMs and they're the "Hey girl" text is, with screenshots. My heart drops. It's this girl he works with and apparently they have been talking for weeks. He told her that we had broke up on his birthday and that he didn't want something temporary with her. The messages contain so much other stuff that I can't even type out because it hurts. That Valentine's night when he was texting me that he was falling asleep, he was driving to her house to pick her up. To pick her up and take her someone to have sex with her in his car. Comment: it's because they're weak and they're flawed. I cheated on my GF, although the girl I cheated on her with only gave me head. I ended up telling my girlfriend about it. The same reason. Women cheat. The excitement, feel entitled, and don't think they will get caught. Men usually do for the sex and conquest. Women feel their spouses aren't giving them what they need at home. I cheated in my previous relationship. Haven't done it in 6 years, but I can try and explain why I did it if that helps. My drug problems aside, I did it because I was selfish. It made me feel good about myself. I loved the validation and attention I got. Even when I did try to commit to my ex, I would just fall into temptation. It was like a high for me. It was exciting. However, it isn't sustainable. My ex left me, I hit rock bottom, did therapy, now I feel better. I'm really sorry he did that to you. I'm glad you have broken up with him. You will find someone that will treat you better. I did regret it at first, but he kept taking me back, so I felt like I could get away with anything. I deeply regret how I treated him now. I'm a bisexual guy, BTW. He was my first real relationship. I did love him, very much. I miss him too. He just wasn't right for me. When I got with my current boyfriend, I was determined to never treat him like I treated my ex. I went to therapy and changed, and I've never cheated on him or even flirted with someone else. I think if you are with the right person, you won't want to cheat. Story 2. I was cheated on by my girlfriend of 10 years. Why do I still want her back? My, now ex, girlfriend and I met in high school and were together for 10 years, until she recently cheated on me. We had 2 short periods where we broke up when we were still in high school, but we ended up coming back to each other, realizing how much we still wanted to be in each other's lives. We've had plenty of issues in that time, but we had good communication in figuring everything out for the most part. In my perspective, our relationship was perfect. We even moved out of our small town together just over 4 years ago, moving over 12 hours away from our comfortable lives, our families, and our friends in pursuit of her undergrad degree at a college in a bigger city. In those 4 years, she struggled to hold down a job, make new friends, or make any new hobbies, but I would always encourage her and try to help in any way I could. I was on the other side of things. I got a new career, found new hobbies I love, things she was not into, and made a lot of new friends in our new area. Recently, she had gotten a new job and told me that she made some new friends there. I told her I was so happy for her and was exciting to meet them, but she kept making excuses why we couldn't hang out all together. I didn't think much of it at the time. I know everyone has busy lives. One day, we were sitting together watching Insta Reels and she got a Snapchat from a guy she had never told me about, and refused to open it in front of me. I thought this was very weird, but I trusted her more than anything, so I just let it go. A couple weeks later, she told me she has hanging out with a girlfriend from work while I was out with my friends. I couldn't get a hold of her from almost 5 hours in that time, so I started worrying about her, since these are new people I'd never met before. We had each other's location on Google Maps, so I told her I was coming to her to make sure she was okay. Just as I sent that message, she called me and told me she was just busy watching a movie and that her checking her phone at that time was a coincidence. I heard a man in the background and asked about it, and she said it was the TV. This was very off-putting, but I still trusted her and never thought she would cheat. So we moved past it and everything was normal for the next couple of weeks. In the meantime, we went on a vacation to Vegas, having a wonderful time. When we got back, the sneaking around continued. I would ask her for a photo of the person she was hanging out with and she would gaslight me by saying I would never ask you for a photo of your friends, and other things like that. I called her out a couple more times about my suspicions of cheating and she told me she would never hurt me like that and that she loved me. I believed her and thought she may really just be bad at communicating when with her new friend, because she hadn't had any in so long. Push came to shove when she turned off her location on maps and I made a big deal about it. She told me she was unsure about our relationship. She came home and we talked all night and I told her I'd do anything to fix the mistakes I was making in our relationship, mostly a lack of emotional support from me, and try to rekindle the love we had in the past. She agreed to this. The next morning we had passionate sex, and after I decided to check her phone, for the first time in our relationship, while she was in the shower. The first message in her phone was one she sent after we had sex, to the same guy she got that Snapchat from months before, about how she dreamed about him last night and never dreamed about me. I read through their messages and found out they had been talking for almost 2 months, had been having sex a lot and talking very bad about me in the texts. She had even started saying she loved him. This was crushing to me, but I cared about her so much I was willing to try and work it out if she wanted to, and she told me she did. She agreed to stop talking to him or seeing him and that she would show me her phone to prove it. During the next 2 weeks, I kept finding new messages between them that she would try to hide, new calls, and new photos. I kept giving her more chances to stop, and she kept telling me she would and wanted to try and work on things, but she would continue to go behind my back. The final straw broke when she told me she needed space one night and was going to stay at a hotel. In the morning, I drove to the hotel and her car wasn't there, so I drove to the guy's house to find her car outside. I broke all contact with her then, blocking her on everything. I moved everything of mine out of my apartment before she ever came home. My heart was completely destroyed. It's been 5 weeks now, and I spoke with her once about 2 weeks ago. She told me she regrets cheating on me but isn't in love with me anymore and doesn't want to be with me. She told me she is with the guy she cheated on me with, and is in love with him. She also told me she has been rebounding hard and has been sleeping with a lot of people on Tinder. I told her after all of that I still wanted to be with her and that I thought we could work things out if she'd give it another chance. She said maybe in the future but not now. It's been about 2 weeks since then and I can't get over her at all. I dream about her and think about her all day. I want her back more than anything. I miss the life we had before and would do anything to get it back. I've since moved into a new apartment and have been living more independently, but I keep thinking about how much better my life was when she was in it, even when she was cheating on me and hiding it. I feel pathetic for wanting someone back who could hurt me in that way, but I feel addicted to her like a drug and I don't know how to get over her and move on. I'm extremely worried about my future. I'm worried I won't be able to have the kids I wanted and achieve all the goals we made together and were striving for. I'm worried I won't be able to find love like I had with her ever again, and that my life will continue to spiral downward as it has been over the last couple of months. I have a good support system with friends and family and a therapist, but it doesn't seem to be helping me very much as I'm still manic about the situation. If anyone else has gone through this before, any insight would be very much appreciated. What should I do to move on and get over her? Command? Sunk cost fallacy. You're still living in the past. It's time to live in the present and look to the future. Ultimately, you need to realize that the person you started dating 10 years ago doesn't exist anymore. She's gone. The person who took her place is the one that feels lying to you and cheating on you is appropriate. That's not someone that respects you. That's not someone that cares for you. That's not someone that will ever love you the way you deserve to be loved. So, time to focus on you. It's often said, but start a new exercise routine or going to the gym. Focus on your career. Find a new hobby. Find some new things to do that might be group activities, i.e. take up frisbee golf, or skiing, or running, or painting, or chess, or a maker group. Check out events at your local library. Look for volunteer activities. In the end, there are 168 hours in a week. Some of those hours used to be dedicated to her. Whether it was spending time with her, making plans for things to do, or whatever. You need to fill those hours with something new. It will take time, but once you start doing that, it will get better. Unfortunately, your behavior is only going to propel her to do more and worse. I suggest reading the book Leave a Cheater, Gain a Life. I wish I read this early on around your stages. It does change your perspective. She's in love with that guy yet bouncing around between men trying hard to find happiness that she'll never get from external validation. Don't let a bad woman break you. You know that you're so much better than her. She is incapable of building healthy relationships because she's a fundamentally flawed human being with serious issues she needs to work out in therapy. Nonetheless, I understand it's hard letting go after a decade. You've put a lot of trust in her and she was part of your formative years. Do the work to heal the trauma she caused you. You are still so young and have so much life ahead of you. Work to rebuild yourself and heal from the despicable behavior and realize none of it was about you. She was never capable of communicating her true feelings because she struggles to connect with others. So she's using what she can offer men to connect, which they'll use and discard. Her life is very sad. Yours doesn't have to be forever. Put the time in so you can unmask the person you thought she was. She's not just cheating on OP whom she said she loved and would never hurt him by cheating on him while hurting him by cheating on him. She's also cheating on the other guy that she says that she loves. My goodness. This is not a relationship, girl.